Welcome, dear dreamer. You found your way to Moonlight Whispers, a quiet corner of the night where stories breathe softly, time slows down, and the world feels just a little more gentle. Settle in, let your thoughts rest, and allow tonight's tale to guide you into calm, warmth, and wonder.
There's a house on the hill that only seems truly alive in winter. It's an old house, its paint softened by decades of snowstorms, its roof shaped by time, its windows glowing with the kind of warmth that can only come from generations of stories whispered inside it. My family has lived here longer than any of us can trace, and every December, without fail, we return. No matter where life has scattered us across the world, we all come back for one tradition: the lighting of the family Christmas tree. Now, this isn't just any tree. This is our tree, a towering fir with branches that seem to lean in as if listening. A tree older than most of us. A tree that stands in the same corner of the living room year after year, decorated with ornaments passed down through hands now gone. But last winter, something happened that none of us were prepared for. Because last winter, the tree spoke. And the first thing it said was a name we hadn't spoken aloud in many, many years. We arrived one by one, brushing snow from our coats, stamping warmth back into our boots. The air smelled of cinnamon and pine, the sort of smell that presses on your heart, reminding you of moments you didn't even know you remembered. My mother was standing by the fireplace, arranging the ornaments. Soft ones, delicate ones, handmade ones with fading glitter, every piece holding a story. She was humming a tune I recognized from childhood. Not a carol exactly, more like the melody she used to sing while decorating. The younger cousins ran around with tinsel as if it were treasure. The older relatives claimed the couches with grateful sighs. And somewhere between the laughter and the crackling fire, something inside the house shifted, like a breath drawn after years of silence. No one noticed at first, but the tree did.
The lights had not yet been strung. The ornaments were still in their boxes. The tree stood bare and tall, its branches lifted proudly, like someone waiting patiently to be dressed for a special night. We gathered around it for the annual lighting. The room fell quiet. Only the wind brushed softly against the windows. My little cousin Lily held the switch for the first string of lights. She looked up at the tree, smiling the way only children can, wide open, trusting, full of wonder. And then, just as her tiny finger pressed the switch, the tree exhaled. Not with sound at first, not with movement, but with a soft, warm flutter of the lights as they flickered on, glowing brighter than usual, bathing us all in a golden shimmer. And then, a whisper, soft, almost like the sound of pages turning in an old book, but unmistakable. It said a name we all knew, a name that made the room feel smaller, as though time itself had stepped closer. Eleanor, my grandmother, gone for 14 years. The lights swayed gently, as if the tree were bowing. Everyone froze. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My uncle stepped back, whispering, "Did anyone else?" We all heard it. The house had gone still, but not frightened. No, it felt warm, comforting, as if the name had been spoken not to haunt, but to welcome.
We tried to dismiss it, of course. Old houses make sounds, lights can buzz. Sometimes we hear what our hearts want desperately to hear. But the tree wasn't finished. As we continued decorating, placing ornaments gently on each branch, the tree seemed to listen. Every time someone laughed, every time someone told a story from a Christmas long gone, the lights would tremble softly, glowing brighter. And then it spoke again. Thomas. My father's older brother. He died before I was born, but his picture hangs in the hallway, a boy with a bright smile and mischievous eyes. My father, who rarely shows emotion, paused mid-ornament. His eyes softened. He whispered, "I haven't heard that name aloud in decades." The tree glowed. Not brighter, just warmer, as if saying, he was here. He mattered. He still does.
As the night went on, the tree whispered more names. Some we expected, old relatives, beloved neighbors, family friends, people who had once stood in this room, drinking hot chocolate and laughing long before life moved them somewhere else. But some names surprised us. Names of distant ancestors. Names of children who grew up and moved far away. Names we had forgotten, but suddenly remembered with a sting of tenderness. It didn't say them loudly, never sharply. Each name was spoken like a hand placed gently on your shoulder. And the more it spoke, the more it felt like the tree wasn't calling out to the past. It was gathering it, carrying it, holding every memory like ornaments of its own. Our living room felt crowded, not with ghosts, but with love stretching across time. Then the tree grew very quiet. The room cooled slightly, though the fire was still burning. The lights dimmed, not fading, but softening, like eyes lowering in rev. And then it whispered a name so fragile that I felt it before I heard it. Anne, my sister, my baby sister. She died when I was 9. A small, bright heartbeat that flickered briefly through our lives and was gone long before she got to hang her first ornament. My mother sank into a chair. My father closed his eyes, letting tears slip silently down his cheek. No one spoke. No one moved. The room waited. The tree glowed. And for one impossible moment, the air felt fuller, so full of warmth, not haunting, not painful, just present, as if she had been waiting too.
We thought the tree was finished after that. How could anything follow the heaviest name? But then the lights brightened, slowly, tenderly, until the entire room was bathed in golden shimmer. And the tree whispered something new. Not a name we knew, not a name from any family record. It whispered its own name, Alder. We froze. Alder, the name of the tree itself. As strange as it sounds, the moment we heard it, it felt right. As if we had always known it. As if the tree had finally introduced itself after decades of being part of our family. Then Alder told us its story. Not in sentences, but in impressions. Memories that seemed to fill the air like drifting snowflakes. How it grew in a forest where families once gathered each winter. How it watched generations celebrate around it. How it felt every joy, every loss, every reunion. How it had been chosen, not by chance, but because it carried centuries of memory in its rings. And how, now in this house, it wanted to share what it had kept safe. the names, the lives, the love, everything that mattered.
Midnight grew near. The fire had dimmed. Everyone sat quietly around the tree, holding cups of warm cider, thinking of the people whose names had been spoken. Finally, Alder whispered one last phrase. Not a name, but a blessing. Remember us as we remember you. The lights dimmed, then brightened in one final, soft glow, and the room felt complete, as if nothing was missing anymore. From that night on, our family changed the way we decorated the tree. We say every name out loud, all of them, even those we only know from old photos, even those whose stories have been half forgotten. We speak them like gifts, placing each one gently among the branches. And every year, on the quietest night of December, Alder whispers back, not always with names, sometimes simply with warmth, or light, or the soft shimmer of branches remembering. Because memory, we learned, is not something that fades, it's something that shines. A light passed gently from one generation to the next, a form of love that never dies.
May your night be gentle, your dreams be kind, and may the moonlight always find you. Good night, dreamer.